Okay, so here we are at the Vigo bed. This is Monday, June 10th. And I've got 3 different cover crops going in here. This end is Phacelia, except there's 2 different things coming up in here. And I know I used 2 different packages, but you've got this guy over here with bigger, not quite as lacy leaves. And then you've got this stuff that's pretty sure is Phacelia, but so that'll be interesting. Buckwheat is in full flower. Windy day as usual. A couple straggler buckwheats over here, and then our crimson clover. And in the center here, because crimson clover doesn't get that big that fast, I've got a couple of muskmelons, variety trifecta that I've grown before. So just coming over here to see. Ooh, looks like I need to get rid of some bagworms. Well, that's irritating. And then my elderberries are starting to flower, come out. They've got little flower bracts, but most of them aren't. These guys are. How does it smell? Pretty good, actually. Okay. And then some grapes interspersed in here. Asparagus that has since gone to long in the tooth. And this little straggler dahlia that can't make up its mind if it likes it here or not, even though that's the same plant that was here last year that I never dug up. As opposed to, don't mind the tall grass, don't mind the tall grass. Then we have this dahlia over here, also left it there. Hello, little bee. Are you going to, do you like the, yay. Yep, bees like dahlias. So this guy actually started growing earlier this spring and got nipped by a little bit of cold weather, and I thought, oh, it's dead, because it had already started sprouting out. But it came back, and it's got buds everywhere. So I'm guessing that the freezing was the same thing as heading back to make it branch more, because oh my god, this thing is like 2 feet wide. Oh, carpenter bee and honeybee. Oh, honeybee 1. So that was the first one that's just opened, and we got more to come. So we will see if I can actually keep up with deadheading to keep it going all year round. Well, I mean, on summer long, not all year, obviously. Tomatoes. Got a few yellowing leaves that I need to go in there and strip off. So this is the grand experiment. And it doesn't matter how much I try and get these little branching parts of the tomato plants corralled by these dinky little tomato cages, they still keep slipping the leash. You go. This one over here who's crossing over this one. We'll see. A couple butterfly peas that are still with us. They'll be taking off soon. I just planted a second planting of cucumbers. This time it's a gherkin or small pickle type called gherkin. So I've got that here. These are just little filler plants of peppers that I put in with a whole bunch of borage and snapdragons and who knows what. I'm hoping that that one right there is actually a cosmos, but I won't know until it actually starts flowering if it does. I also came over here and did a second planting of some carrots. I've got some regular carrots that have been coming up for a little while now, and then I did a second planting over here These are some leftover case tomatoes that I planted a few days ago. Actually Saturday, this is Monday, so it's only been in here 2 days. Not doing great, but not all right dying either. They are kind of dark and not quite as green as obviously those guys over here. And I think that's just because they were in the red solo cups for too long. They're getting a little too big for their britches, and now that I've got them in soil, I gave them some good fertilizer. Organic, of course. Gave them good watering. It rained almost half an inch here yesterday, so they should be good to go. My lettuce is still hanging on. The one in the back, the red one, is called Merlot. I got that one at Baker Creek. It was some free seed that I had received a couple years ago, maybe. Planted them, and I mostly liked them because they're just so pretty. And then this green lettuce in here is just salad bowl. I need to start thinking about cutting back some of it to make at least an attempt at a salad, or put on a hamburger or something like that. My little dianthus double delight is still going well. I'm probably gonna have to come out here. I deadheaded quite a bit of it, but not totally, but it's keeping going, so it may not be as important to deadhead this one, which I am all for. And then one of my little magic carpet cosmos that I grew last year that I really liked, so we're at it again. Okay, before I headed in, I wanted to show you, this is carrot called Kyoto Red that I planted last fall, and we got a really hard freeze and it kind of nipped it in the bud, didn't do anything, but it hung on all winter long, and then it started growing again. Unfortunately, carrots are biennial. When they go through a winter like this, their next plan of action is to go to seed, which it is. So this thing is like 7 feet tall, and you can see how they're related to Queen Anne's lace, but that's a flower head that hasn't totally open, and then this one's the one that's open, so they're very pretty. Having the little pollinator bugs all over is a little weird, but so when these guys start dying back, I have to make the decision if I'm going to save some seed. Probably what I'll do is I'll put a little organza bag around a couple of the florets and catch the seeds that way, and then we'll have them for next year, even though I haven't used all the seed up from last year. Hi guys, it's Pam again. So I just wanted to show you, these are the torch blue lavenders that I grew from seeds from Baker Creek this year. I've got 3 of them here, and at first I was a little disappointed in them because it seemed like they were just sending up one single stalk of flowers, but then they came out and they're putting on way more. So one thing that I am noticing about it, whenever you brush up against any kind of foliage that has a scent, well, this stuff, it doesn't smell like lavender. What do the flowers smell like? The lavenders have like, the flowers have like a lemony scent to them. There's like a lavender undertones, but very citrusy. That's kind of cool. So the one drawback about these guys is the fact that they are not winter hardy as much as other lavenders, whereas some of the lavenders that I've grown in the past, they struggle big time in the summertime. So these guys, I think, go down to like zone 9. So I'm thinking they'll be okay in the summertime here, which is why I put it on the west side of my house. But yeah. So we'll see how they do over winter or not. They were fairly easy to get going. I threw the seed packet in the refrigerator for a few weeks, and then went and planted them, planted the seeds for inside growing, and they pretty much all germinated. I ended up, I think, with like 10 all told. And I've got 3 growing here. I planted a couple more out in other spots, and I've got one in a pot from my back deck. So we'll see if maybe I can bring we're gonna have a really doozy of a winter this year, I can bring that pot inside and maybe keep it going for next year. And then the rest of these, so I don't know if those of you who may have watched a previous video that I did about these little planters, these are just plastic 50-gallon barrels, and my dad cut them in half around the equator, put holes in the bottom, and then we fill it up. And these guys have been going for years. There's some of them that are breaking down a little bit, but not bad. So I think we got these guys for like $10 each. So here's a basically 25-gallon grow bag here, made out of plastic, so it's a little bit more durable for like $5. You can't get that easily. So I planted a kind of a combo here, and basically was like, okay, whoever survives can grow. So far everything seems to be growing of what survived the roly-polies. I had planted roly-polies in this planter, not roly-polies, moonflowers in this planter, and only one survived. Although, okay, so that one right there, that was what was left, but it seems to still be green. It may try to make a comeback, but I definitely have this guy going. So I've got that one. This is a cardinal climber, which is a relative of morning glories, moonflower, kind of sort of the same thing, but they're white. So I've got a theme. I've got red, white, and blue. I've got red morning glories over here, blue ones over here, and then I've got the white moonflowers in the center. If I remember correctly, moonflowers like to flower overnight and into the early morning. So it may be that I'm not going to get red, white, and blue together all the time, but we'll see what happens. I've got 3 different kinds of morning glories / moonflowers to be patriotic, and then I've got the cardinal climbers, which are these more lacy. They have small little red trumpet-like flowers that hummingbirds really like. I've got the torch blue lavenders. I've got some agastache, the fragrant delight, that I didn't think was going to make it, but apparently I just had to give them a chance. And then I planted some nasturtiums. Nasturtiums aren't the happiest I've seen. That one looks okay, but I'm not used to such teeny tiny little flowers. But I think that was basically a combination of, didn't get them planted out of their little seed cups quickly enough. And then I had 3 seeds for runner beans. These are, I believe, the painted lady, something like that. And the one in the middle, it got eaten pretty quickly. And the one on the outsides, they're seen to be going up my little trellis. This one seems to be the happiest because it's already putting on flowers. So I'm going to do a combination. Since I don't have any other beans planted in the garden this year, I'll be able to harvest some of those pods, knock on wood, hopefully, and be able to have enough for next year without having to buy more seeds for it. Some people will actually use runner beans. I think you have to cook them a certain way because they cause stomach upset or something like that, especially if it's eaten raw. But I'm basically just using it for pollinators type stuff, and because the flowers are pretty. All right, that was it. Okay, so this is a after shot. This is about 10 days after the first segment. So this stuff that was supposed to be Phacelia, which doesn't, because allegedly that's the Phacelia. So I really don't know what this is, but it's pretty. And it's got a bunch of little pollinators all over the place. So, but I don't know what it is. Pretty. And then the white. Actually, that's another one of these, but it's white. That is so cool. Okay, so I need to water in here because it has been hot. Hot. Considering today's actually the summer solstice. Happy anniversary to my parents. But it's been hot for at least a week now, in the 90s, which it gets that way here in Tennessee, but usually it's like got periods of it's a little bit hot and then it'll be back to normal, you know, low 80s, that kind of stuff. Got some grapes. Elderberry flowers. All right. So if anyone knows, so the leaves are much larger than the Phacelia plants. I'd really like to know what I planted. You can see crunching everywhere I go, dead grass. The buckwheat. I always have a hard time with buckwheat because, you know, it continues to flower even though there are some, you know, seeds being set. So there's probably going to be a secondary crop of buckwheat in this place. That's okay. Crimson clover, still not ready. And I'm trying to remember the last time I planted this. I can't remember if it bloomed on the same year or if it had to overwinter and then come back the next year and bloom. The pink buckwheat that I got, I don't know, maybe I just, well, there's some a little bit. Just doesn't seem to be quite as robust and pollinator happy as the regular white kind. But yeah, I need to get in here and water this. Yay. All right. Got onions. They're not as big as I'd like them to be, but I did get them into the ground. Obviously not flopping over, although it does look like some of the green parts are browning up a little bit. So probably in the next week or so, my little currant bush in there. Here's the container bed that I put together. Those are violets that are not happy with the heat over there. My thornless blackberry right there. Regular thorn blackberry that planted itself. So this stuff over here seems to be okay. Here is where I took the garlic out of. I still need to spread like compost and put some mulch on top and plant my sweet potatoes. I keep procrastinating and I shouldn't. Here's what's left over of the other onions that I had over in the other bed with the currant. Again, not doing as well. That side over there, just not really growing very well, but we tried. Some of the carrot flowers are now forming seeds, and I'm wondering if maybe I should put organza bags or something around them to try and catch any seeds that might fall. I should rip out these carrots, but they keep flowering. Kind of pretty. Alright, everything else is kind of status quo right now. Just need to get a little break and get a little rain. Me watering is not the same as Mother Nature doing it. Well, my cucumbers are starting to flower. You can see that flower's got a little pickle behind it. So yay. The tomatoes that I think I had shown you in the previous segment are now nice and green. I need to go and corral that one and get it to mix to where it's positioned a little bit better up against the cattle panel here. Lettuce even larger than it was. I believe I have a volunteer honeysuckle growing there. Oh yay. And here are the pickling cucumbers. They're getting some size to them. I've started putting the pine needle mulch down. Got waylaid. Had to take Mom into town yesterday for her doctor's appointment for her back. And then I got back and it was way too hot. Oh, here comes the jet. That was just one. That was very loud. Oh, there goes another one. There's probably going to be a third one because that's what they usually do. Damn sky jockeys. Come on, you know you're gonna. I guess number 3 is late. Yeah, that happens every once in a while. That's a lot of fun. I've had them fly so close to the ground that I was actually able to see pilots before, so I'm not too sure if that's supposed to happen, but boy, they're loud. Where was I? Oh yeah, putting mulch down. Gotta finish doing that. I've had to start cutting back some of the borage, especially here. This one was flopping all over my strawberries, and it's kind of sort of leaning into the blueberry here, but it's also kind of shielding it from the sun. I don't think it's like too hot and heavy on it right now, but I will have to cut it back pretty soon. As sun looks like it's going to be, you know, the flowering is going to be over on this side anyway. I may just go ahead and cut the entire thing down. But oh also got to cut back my golden marguerite. It's getting toward the end. All the little petals have fallen off. If I don't cut them back, I'm going to have seedlings of golden marguerite everywhere. Some of my, this is blue Victoria, or Victoria blue, however you want to say it. Salvia, that's come back year after year. Every time I think, it's not going to come back, it comes back. So dry, so dry, so dry. And I don't dare weed whack or anything like that because it's so dry. I'm just going to leave everything the way it is. Things seem to be growing. I don't see really any overt withering from lack of water, except for those, the pallet bed over there with the grapes and the elderberry, and then the Vigo bed on the other side, the metal bed that we started on with the segment, and then my cement raised bed over here. The cornflowers and the catnip seem to be kind of suffering, so I'll have to see if I can set up a sprinkler. I'd really like a day that was a little bit cloudier so it wouldn't damage cells, you know, the leaves and stuff like that with the water hitting them, and then the sun. And then there's this bed that every year I'm like, I need to corral this thing, and then I don't, and then it looks like a hot mess because there's daylilies. And one of these days what I hope to do is get in there, you know, make another raised bed kind of like one of these, but I never do, and I'm running out of excuses, so I just need to get it done. And I also need to remind myself that every year I say I'm going to get X, Y, and Z done this summer, and then summer heat hits. Ooh, look, there's another honeysuckle. Okay, evidently I'm growing honeysuckle this year. But yeah, every year I say I'm going to get all this stuff done during the summer. Not going to get sidetracked however I got sidetracked last year. Well, I just realized why I get sidetracked, because it's so hot. I mean, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock in the morning, and it's already above 80, and it's just going to get worse. It was 97 here yesterday. Dahlias definitely need to come out here and deadhead some of these guys. But wow. But you know, this doesn't look like the one I had here last year. This is supposed to be, is it creme de cassis? I have it written down somewhere, but it's not exactly. Well, when I remember what variety this is, I'll put it in the comments below. And but all the little pollinators. Okay, well, now I have to go water some seedlings before the sun goes over that side of the house. All right, just wanted to show you all what it was looking like. I think this would be a much prettier little area here if this heat would stop messing with my plants. Bye. Okay, one last clip and then I should be done for this time. So this is that cement bed that I said I needed to amend so that I could put sweet potatoes in. Well, here's what it looks like now. So what I did was I loosely kind of forked the existing soil that the garlic had been in, basically to just kind of break up really big hard clumps, and kind of smoothed it over. And then I put some organic granular fertilizer on there to replenish any and all depleted, and I'm pretty sure it was depleted. Oh, and the neighbor's dogs are out, and my other neighbor's dogs are trying to start a fight. Yay! All right, so if you hear bloodshed, you know what it is. That's me. It's not me. Okay, so organic granular fertilizer, sprinkled that on there evenly over the surface. Didn't really measure, just kind of, you know, tablespoon here, tablespoon there, that kind of thing. Just kind of grabbed handfuls and spread it until it looked like it was adequate. And then I got a bag of compost and topsoil. It was mixed together from the company. Spread it evenly over the top so that it has a darker turn to it than that one. And then took some of my pine needle straw and spread it over, and then watered it in really good. And I'm basically, oops, shadow. So I'm basically going to let this sit here for a few days. We may or may not have some rain Sunday or Monday. This is Friday, the 21st. So if we do indeed get rain, that'll be great, because that'll help water it in even better and start the bacteria in the soil and the fungi and everything to be working on the fertilizer. And then hopefully I can get a cloudy day, or at least the end of the day that's going to be a cloudy day the next day, and get the sweet potato slips in here. The sweet potato slips are ones that I grew. I had bought a sweet potato February or so, and for some reason it got misplaced, and when I finally found it at the bottom of a pile of regular potatoes, it had already started sprouting. So I put it in a little seed tray with some soil and put it inside, of course, until the weather acclimated and got warm enough for sweet potatoes. I had a couple of others that had also started sprouting that I did the same thing with. I've tried doing putting the sweet potato in water gambit before, and just going ahead and you just lay it on its side. If it's sprouting, it will put out roots, and then you can break off the slips with roots and get them in the ground. They're started a little bit faster. I'm a little bit late on this. I should have gotten the sweet potatoes in a couple weeks ago, but we'll hope that there's a long fall that will allow the sweet potatoes to get some size to them. I got sweet potatoes last year, but they were all kind of on the small side, maybe 1 inch to 2 inches in diameter. And besides, slicing them up and putting them in the oven and roasting them as sweet potato fries or something like that, it's not really worth, peeling the skins off and all that kind of stuff. So didn't really get to use a whole lot of those. So we're going to hope this year we have better luck as we've had in previous years. And it's just basically up to Mother Nature. Do we get plentiful rain? And that kind of thing. We're going to have, sweet potatoes like hot weather, but they also like moisture too. So I didn't do mulch like this in previous years. Maybe that'll help. All right, well, I'll let you see what comes of it when I actually get them planted. Bye! For sure this time. Bye!